Hey y'all, I'm waiting to see if this is working. So let me see if I've got volume because I did an entire other thing this morning and it didn't work. So let me wait and see if it's working. God. Oh, there's no service. Just gotta be a little patient. Yikes. Oh, let's see if it's live and it's working. Oh. God. Oh. There's no service. Just gotta be a little patient. Yikes. Oh. Let's see if it's live and it's working. All right. Fantastic. So this morning I tried to do another video and there's something in the universe that is trying to stop me because my volume is not working. I bought a new mic. It's still not working. It just cuts off. It's on when it wants to. It's off when it wants to, whatever. So let me turn this so we can get a little bit of that. So for those of you who are trying to figure out why I keep doing that and I shift myself back and forth, it's because I have a treadmill here at my desk. So while I'm working and researching and studying and all that fun stuff, I walk. And that's not where my face is red. I went to kickboxing this morning. So that's fun. But I have to start all over again. But I'm excited because every time I do these videos 4 and 5 times over, I always add a little something extra to it. So I'm excited about that. Let me take these off my head. So again, we're going to get into chapter 3. And specifically today, we are going to talk about we're going to talk about the Native Americans and the Native Americans in the North and the South and in the Caribbean, because I'm Puerto Rican. So that was how I started to research that, because I have been researching everything and trying to connect all things that God has created with God himself. And I find myself very successful. So I'm going to read a little snippet and then we'll get right into it. So over here we go. Next in my search. Oh, before I do that too, I want to review what we did yesterday. So yesterday we, so let me just backtrack too. So chapter 3 in this book is about how there is this Christ concept or this virtue concept across the globe and across time. And with things a little bit different based on the culture in which they were received. So yesterday, we spoke about the chakras. We talked about ancient Egypt. We talk about our third eye, and that really is your pituitary gland, and the neurological implications or importance of our brains, because all is mind, says Hermes, Hermeticism law number 1. As well as Einstein and any other physics professor that you can find is going to tell you that we are energy. And so we talked about that yesterday. And then we also got into Buddhism, Hinduism, which are not really isms in the first place. They're actually concepts and they're cultural locations. It wasn't until the 1500s when the United States started to grow and to become its own entity, where they decided that they had to make some sort of a definition of what constituted religion. And so they threw in Hinduism and Buddhism in that, whereas in all of history beforehand, no one ever identified religiously with those aspects. So food for thought. Let me put a light on. It's dark as hell. Hold on. Okay. So I've got the sun coming in and it's a big mess. So here we go. Whew. Next in my search, I wanted to understand the indigenous people of the Americas. I'm 100% Puerto Rican, so I decided to do an ancestry test. So it turned out that I am 14% indigenous Puerto Rican, or Taino, which is the Native American tribe in the Caribbean. So I've got 14% of that. And then I have from Spain and Portugal when Christopher Columbus came and rediscovered, if you will, or I guess discovered in a sense that no one knew it existed before except the people who were there. And so I have 40% Spaniard, 30% Portuguese. I've got 4% Jewish and like 1% of 10 African places as well. So, okay, so it turns out that most of the Taino people were killed along with their sacred texts of spirituality, earthly architecture. There are many other native indigenous cultures in the Americas and in the Pacific. So if you go to the Pacific side, you have places like, obviously, Hawaii, and then you also have Australia, New Zealand, and those aspects. And there are many scientists who believe that the oldest human beings on the earth are from Australia. So they might be from the second wave of human experiment, and they made it through into the next round. There's a couple episodes on Ancient Aliens that talk about it. So if you're interested, go over there. And they also have Australia also has many animals that are completely different than anywhere else on the planet. So the lineage of the bloodline in that area of the blood of the specific ET that that colonize in that area is why it's so different. And thus, when you go around the world, everything is different everywhere. We all look different, and that's because we all come from different bloodlines. Anyway, so moving on. Where am I? Okay. So I dug into, so then treaties were broken, obviously, and the natives were made to conform to the European Christian Crusaders. Now, I love Jesus. I love me some God. Christ consciousness, 100%. Now, with that said, our lovely brothers and sisters in Christ who had all the best intentions at heart went around the globe destroying everything that wasn't what it was they were told. Now, the problem with that is who says that they are the one and only area of the globe or type of person who was going to have access to God. And so rather than reaching the Americas and Australia and other places and trying to learn about the culture and learn about their beliefs and systems, it made them angry because it was something they didn't understand. And so you have tons of documents, scripture, poems, art, all sorts of stuff that has been destroyed. So we forgive you, Christians. Anyway, moving on. The first thing that struck out to me was that woman ran the village in the Taino culture. And so that is why Puerto Rican women are so fiery and strong. So I have a double whammy. I am Puerto Rican as well as I am from New Jersey. So, and I'm an Aries. So I have a triple whammy from a sense of my fire, and my spirit and my intelligence and my outspokenness and my love on top of it. So here I am ripping the Band-Aid off. So after getting into the Tainos, I was like, well, let's look into some other native cultures. And so I live in the Charlotte area. I live actually a mile from Charlotte. So the Cherokee and the Catawba are very prevalent in this area. And so obviously the Cherokee is very well known. So I thought to dive into that. And here's what I learned. For the Cherokee people, spirituality was a part of everyday life. It was not seen as something apart. Theda Purdue writes in her book Cherokee Women that the Cherokees did not separate spiritual and physical realms, but regarded them as one. And they practiced their religion in a host of private daily observances as well as in their public ceremonies. They believed the universe was composed of 3 levels. Whew, very much like Dante's Inferno / Heaven and Hell. So you have your upper world, you have your lower world, and then you have the in-between world. Now, the upper world was the realm of pastime and predictability. So one would say order, right? Math, science, things that you can calculate and figure out. Upper world. Sounds like God. Sounds like Father God. Let's make that right. Then that is also represented by fire. Now, if you go into the Old Testament and you look at the story of Elijah, and I can't remember if Elijah or it's Elisha because there's 2 of them. However, one of them escapes an earthly death. He is ascended into heaven in chariots of fire into the heavens. Now, chariots of fire. I thought fire was hell. And hell's a bad thing. Hell is a bad thing. But fire doesn't equal hell. Doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible. So check yourself. Anyway, moving on. The underworld, which is controlled by the future and change. So they are on the other end of time, if you will. And they are associated with water. Now, water, from a quantum physics level, is the memory of life. All that was, is, and will be. Similar to energy, water cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. And this is why scientists or astrologists, NASA, whatever, NASA, they are looking at other planets to see what has water, because if it doesn't have water, it can't have life. And so, and then you go deeper into what the water molecule is, and we talk about how our bodies are, 95% water, and then the actual water molecule itself is 99% empty space. So, it's all a beautiful mystery. Anyway, so that's represented by water. Now, in the Bible, there's a verse, and I don't know off the top of my head, but there's certainly songs where it talks about the waving winds know your name. And the reason why they say wave and wind is because those are the elements of the earth that have vibration and frequency. Waves, right? Sound waves, water waves. This is how things move. Okay. Now, then you have fire and you have earth. Those are the elements of matter. Well, actually, they're all elements of matter, but those are the elements that are transformative, right? So they can change. That's what fire is used for. And we're going to talk about that now in the Cherokees. Let me make sure that I'm still going live and okay, good. Yay, we're still working. I got to double check. I want to do this one more time. So last, there is the world, which is in between, which is the domain of the human beings. Humans were believed to be the mediators on neutral ground, Earth, between the upper world and the lower world. Sounds a little bit like heaven and hell scenario, except that they didn't believe that one was evil and good. They just knew that they were different. One like order, one like creation or chaos, order out of chaos. Reconciling the polarities, reconciling dualities, understanding that both are necessary in order there to be any experience whatsoever. So the Cherokees also did not see themselves as having domain over plants, animals, and the rest of creation. Instead, they lived in balance with creation. Spiritual power can be found throughout creation. They believed it was in animals, rivers, caves, mountains, other landforms, and it all played a purpose in the universe. So the sacred fire is also an important aspect of their culture. It is seen as a symbol of purity and new life and an earthly representative of the sun. So in the Bible, it also talks about up from the ashes, right? Hope will arise. And so ashes is only made by fire. So Fire is transformative. Fire is what's needed for us to grow. And if you want to associate fire to hell, you understand that hell are bad things that happen to us. They're bad states of consciousness. They're negative feelings. They're states of depression and anger, and all of these things that we have to go through over and over and over and over again until we figure out why it's happening and how we can change from it. So, so fire is a good thing. And there's many stories and verses in the Bible that talk about, your flame. And so to be a Christian and to talk to an atheist and they're asking you these questions and you don't have an answer because, oh, well, it's just that way. Just believe. You'll go to heaven. Unfortunately, that's not the truth. So we're gonna get there. So here we go. Thanks, Hermes. Okay, so I wrote neutral ground, heaven. Okay, so they do not see one side as evil and the other side good, but both is necessary. Now, who else said that? That was Hermes. Hermes said that everything has opposites, everything has poles, everything is dual. And so without the opposite, the other can't exist. And so there is no reality. Now, moving on. Oh, man. I already said sacred fire. Oh, so also the fire was an element of transformation. And they also fed a portion of their meal as a tithing or a sacrifice into the fire. Ancient ascension practices within the Christian church actually had baptism with water and with fire. No one ever teaches about that one, but if you go back to ascension practices, you'll find that there as well. And then obviously you have something called ether, which I talk about in the book being the fifth element or the quantum element. And if you want to know about that, read the book. So that's all. We're going to go into that today. So now I'm going to get all my lovely pictures up here and we're going to start going through them one by one. And let me make sure okay, good. We're still live. This is fantastic. Great. Let's get a screen up here. So window, let's start here. Share, showing screen, solo on. Woo woo. Okay, so Cherokee prayer. Sky, our grandfather. Moon, our mother. Moon, our grandmother. Earth, our mother. I am thankful. We love each other. We are grateful. Now, these Cherokees never, ever met or heard of the gospel of Jesus Christ until the Europeans landed in the Americas. But yet these practices and these beliefs and these cultures and the spirituality was already in place before they got there. So how could they have a basis of understanding of reality and spirituality and nature without ever having any contact with anybody from Europe? They also didn't have contact with any of the Greek philosophers, yet a lot of their ideology was very similar. Now, the philosophers are probably going to hit it more from one world, if you will, and the other world, right? You have these two worlds. One is of the mind, and one is of the heart, and you have mother and you have father, right? So the Can you hear me? One second. Sorry. Yeah, it doesn't like me. It does not. No. Oh, I know what I have to do. Something about share audio or something, right? Let's see. Can you hear me? Oh, yay. Oh, yay, it works now. Fantastic. Okay, I'm pretty much done with Be Live, just so everybody knows, because I don't. Oh, I hope y'all can hear me. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna keep going. Um, I'm so annoyed with Be Live. I'm probably going to be using a different foundation, a different thing because it's terrible. But I think I'm good now. Okay, so gosh almighty, the volume just goes away. I swear it's the devil. Woo! Hold on. Showing screen, solo on. Let's see if that works. Oh, I know what I have to do. Something about share audio or something, right? This is funny. Let's see if this comes up. Oh, yay. Ah, okay. Now it works again. Go figure. Oh, yay. It works now. Fantastic. Okay, I'm pretty much done with Be Live, just so everybody knows, because I don't. Oh, I hope y'all can hear me. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna keep going. All right, so here we are, the 7 original grandfather teachings. So, wow, 7. Where else have we heard 7? Lord have mercy. 7 is a lucky number in Hinduism. 7 days to make the world. 7,000 years really to make the world, but that's okay. There are what else? 7 days in the week. There are 7 all 7s in the book of Revelation. So 7 has an important number. I like the Native American culture because they look at life differently is pretty much what it comes down to. So they've got the eagle. This means love. And then they have the Genu, which means honesty. The buffalo is respect. The turtle is truth. The turtle is also in lots of ancient cultures. 10,000 years ago or so, the shape of the turtle shell, the sacred geometry shapes of the turtle shell have significant meanings. So if you're interested in that, Google the turtle. The bear is courage. And a lot of people associate the bear with Russia. And then we have beaver's wisdom, and the wolf is humility. Now, love, honesty, respect, truth, courage, wisdom, and humility. Those are all fruits of the Spirit. So how in the Lord Almighty did these native indigenous people on the other side of the planet have the same morals, values, and ethics and virtue, if you will, without ever hearing Judaism, paganism, Christianity, Jesus Christ, and any of that? Constantine, none of it. They've never heard any of it. So this is logic now. This is fact. This is reason. And as Christians, Lord have mercy, we have been so focused on our hearts and to me anyway, again, I won't speak, but on everybody or everything or every denomination or whatever, but I just feel as Christians we have been taught to be weak, and we've been taught to turn the other cheek and to patience and kindness and understanding and blah blah blah, and all this passiveness. And in the Bible, you also have the complete opposite type of God. And, Pastor Stephen Furtick, a couple of years ago, did a series called Savage Jesus. And I liked that because he was able to humanize Jesus just a little bit more. Instead of making him be rainbows and butterflies all the time, he was balanced. He had times where he was a healer, and he was patient, and he was caring and compassionate and understanding. And then he had times where he was angry, and he taught lessons, and there wasn't rainbows and butterflies. And so, as Christians, we have to understand that it's great that we live life with our heart, but we also have to use our mind, and our minds are logic, reason, and facts. So that would be, to me, science, mathematics, and I don't know, whatever. But you can't, as a Christian, science is not the devil. The math is not the devil. But yet they scientifically prove aspects which go against common misconceptions that Christians have. So rather than saying, hey, we got some things wrong, let's relook at it, we are just adamant and say, nope, that's what it is. You blasphemy and you're going to hell. If I could roll my eyes to the back of my head, I would. Ooh, baby. So let's see what else we got. Actually, I didn't really want to throw that one out because we just looked at it. But anyway, so we had that. We did this. Let me pull up this one. Fun times. Hold on a second. Showing screen. Solo on. I just want to make sure I'm still going. All right. So it says, may the sun bring you new energy by day. And this is kind of what I was getting to before. May the moon softly restore you by night. So day and night, the sun and the moon, father and mother, feminine, masculine and feminine. May the rain wash your worries. So rain is memory, remember, literal metaphysical memory. Okay. And then the wind, the breeze, is literal memory of the spirit. So this is what holds everything and what moves through space-time, and what we're able to use our energy, our masculine, feminine energy, or our Christ energy to discern the wind and the rain. And so we know the wind and the rain know your name. And so that's where that comes from. Woo! I am preaching, guys. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm preaching. Let me see. Yes, I'm just happy that I'm good. So let me. People, Native Americans lived thousands and thousands of years. Okay, there are Native American, or not even Native American, Native indigenous people from the second round of human experiment 26,000 years ago in Aztec, in Mayan, in Australia, in America, that have been on this planet with their bloodline for over 10,000 years, if not over 20,000 years. And the reason why that is because it's proven, period. So if you're a Christian and you're like, no, the earth is only 6,000 years old because the Bible says so, there's your incorrect problem right there. Because Moses was not a scientist. He was not a mathematician. He was not a philosopher. In fact, he was nothing of the earth. He was solely had a connection with God, and so he didn't have to worry about nothing because they spoke like how I speak to him, kind of. So it's just one-on-one. So Moses is oh Lord. So anyway, let me just keep going. So waving wind still knows your name. We love you, God. Oh Lord, have mercy. And may you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of your life. So, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now, doesn't this sound like a Bible verse? All the days of your life. And I will dwell in the Lord of the house forever. So mind you, they're thousands of years apart, hundreds of thousands of miles in distance, never met each other ever, never heard the same concepts, didn't live life the same way whatsoever. Yet the virtue was the same, the morals were the same, the all of it was the same, but yet their practices were completely different. They used fire. They had many other musical rituals with drums and with flutes, and very much brought music into their worship. Sounds like some Christians, except as a Baptist, we had a organ. And God forbid you brought a guitar into a Baptist church. It was a sin. So why? Because anything that has rhythm is this, so now we're getting into, you see how everybody thinks there's something wrong about everyone else. Why can't we just all be right? Why can't we just all experience God the way that God made us to experience him? Ooh, there's a thought. So, man, I am dropping bombs right now, y'all. So I love this. If you want it, send me a message. I will be more than happy to send it to you. Let me get a couple more here. I wanted to talk about the shamans as well, but before I do that, let me pull this one other poem up here. And I live by choice, not by chance. Free will, right? So they also believed in free will, to be motivated, not manipulated. This is heaven and hell right now, baby. My babies is the world, right? So now, mind you, to be with Christ or to be without Christ, to be with God, to have eternity with God, to have eternity away from God. That is the only thing that is written in the Bible. It says nothing about us going to a place. It just says that we have eternity with him, without our physical bodies, right? Or the body that we have on this planet in any event. So to excel, not to compete. So here, these are your duality. Now, did the native indigenous people of the Americas meet Hermes? Probably not, unless a spaceship picked up Hermes, brought him over, and then brought him back, which could very well be factual for sure. And but I don't think that's the case. And so here we are into duality again. And this is very much how Jesus preached as well, in duality. So we have to live by choice, not by chance, to be motivated, not manipulated. So choice, free will, chance, fate, duality, opposite concepts. To be motivated, not manipulated. To be useful, not used. To make changes, not excuses. To excel, not compete. I choose self-esteem, not self-pity. I choose to listen to my inner voice and not random opinions of others. And your inner voice is called intuition, which is considered the highest form of intelligence, which is you and God in your pineal gland, and he just tells you how it's going down. So love this. It's beautiful when you start making the connections. It's beautiful when you start to realize how intelligent the design of God was. And if you don't dive into these things, you're never able to experience that true awe and wonder. And you'll know that awe and wonder when you meet him face to face, when you go to your spirit, if you don't believe what I'm saying. But I'm telling you right now, you can have that experience on this planet in this body. So there's that one. And then I have the shaman one. I wanted to pull that up for sure, because shamanism, oops, and I didn't even, hold on a second. Show and stream, solo on. Let me make sure I'm still on. Is God made us to, okay. So where'd it go? Where's my picture? Is that it? Okay, there we go. So shaman. So a shaman is a man or a woman who journeys into an altered state of consciousness, entered during trance, ritual, or ceremony, and practices divine healing. Now, let's just look at that right now first by itself. A man or a woman. Okay, so that's good. There are some denominations of Christianity, I would say probably most of them actually, who believe that the man is superior to the woman, or not that it's superior. I shouldn't say that. I take that back. That the men have certain roles that are given to a man, and there's certain roles that are given to a woman. I don't have an opinion on it yet because I haven't studied into it, nor is it something that's uber important to me. So I'll probably skip it here in the first couple of years that I'm oh my gosh, my kids are home. So in an altered state of consciousness, okay, so you can have, so we talked about consciousness in the first couple videos. So watch that. And then you have that you can enter into a trance or ritual ceremony during divine healing. So you might think Pentecostal in this standpoint of when they kind of go into these altered states of consciousness. Hi, buddy. I love you. Mwah. Thank you. Wow. All right, I'm almost done with my video, and then I'll come out there.
What
and
video?
I'm doing a video right now, and they can hear you. So if you guys can step out, and I'm going to close this for a second.
Here.
I love you.
Love you. Oh, we got your Mother's Day card.
You did. Thank you. I'm just give me 1 second. Okay. Love my kids. All right. So in Christianity, you might say Pentecostals kind of go into that. If you're doing a fast, or you might take psychedelics in some aspect, or something that is going to bring your consciousness to an altered state. And then you practice divine healings, and obviously there's different methods to that as well. So it's a practitioner who voluntarily enters into an altered state of consciousness. He or she experiences spiritual realms of which he can travel at will and interact with other entities in order to serve the community. So this is very similar to astral projection, if you will. Just kind of being able to move your energy through your chakras, through your crown chakra, and being able to open that up to cosmic downloads, if you will, of information throughout time space. So just something to throw out there as a kind of match. Look, my daughter's down there. Get that mask off your face. Where'd you get that from?
Daddy bought it.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Just for
Yikes.
Dad's house.
We are non-maskers here. They are evil. I'm gonna
You're
burn.
evil.
I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna burn the mask. All right, go away. I'm almost done. I love you.
I'm wearing it tomorrow in school.
Oh my gosh. I hope not. What else do I got left? Do I have anything else left? I've got this one more. Here we go. So when we talk about, I'll go back to the yin again. This is, I just try and connect everything is all that I'm doing. Window, this one. Oh, I already have it. Cool. Cancel, showing screen, solo on. And here we are. Okay, so there's a battle between the two wolves inside of us, and there is a wolf and sheep analogy in the Old Testament, and then obviously in Psalms. But one is evil, one is angry, jealous, greed, resentment, lies, inferiority, and ego. So there you have your hell again, your hell consciousness, or your thoughts of the lower levels of consciousness. So again, duality, and then the other is good, joy, peace, love, hope, humility, kindness, sympathy, and truth. And so everyone comes to a point in their lives, at least once, where you kind of meet there's only one place to go. You got to pick which road you're going to go down. Or you can just stay right down the middle and be gray. But you can play both sides of the fence, or you can just pick a side. And so here's your duality again. Same concept with Hermeticism. Same concept with the way that Jesus preached. And I'm going to wrap it up because my kids want my love. So I'll see you tomorrow, and thanks for watching. Say bye-bye.